How to care for cyclamen plants. Cyclamen plants are known for their attractive and sweet-smelling heart-shaped blooms. They are also known for being a bit temperamental. However, as long as you meet their particular requirements, cyclamen are pretty easy to maintain. Because they prefer cooler temperatures, most people find them easiest to grow indoors. However, planting them in the garden is an option as long as your local climate and garden conditions can provide or mimic their ideal environment. If you want to grow them from seeds, start the seeds indoors. Your cyclamen will produce lovely blooms throughout the winter while the rest of your garden lies dormant. Caring for indoor cyclamen plants. Keep the temperature around 60 degrees Fahrenheit 15.5 degrees Celsius. Cyclamen bloom during the winter in their natural habitat. They prefer temperatures between about 40 degrees and 60 degrees Fahrenheit 4 degrees to 15.5 degrees C. This is pretty chilly for indoors, but if you keep your house on the cooler side, your cyclamen will be happy. If the temperature gets above 65 degrees Fahrenheit 18 degrees Celsius during the day, or dips under 50 degrees Fahrenheit 10 degrees Celsius at night, cyclamen usually won't succeed. Although they like cool environments and good air circulation, keep cyclamen away from drafty areas. Give cyclamen bright but indirect sunlight. Cyclamen love sunlight, but direct sunlight is a bit much for them. They don't like that much heat in general, and hotter temperatures will often force the plants to go into dormancy. A sunny window is great for them, as long as the sunlight isn't direct and the temperature is cool. An east or north-facing window is a good option. An east or north-facing window is a good option. Encourage a humid environment during the winter. Daily misting is a good way to provide some humidity for your cyclamen when they're in bloom. Another great option is to position their pots over a pebble-filled tray of water. They will not do well if the environment is dry or arid, and they crave moisture. Water them daily with room temperature water. Keep their soil moist but not soggy. Touch the soil daily, and when it feels dry, water them with room temperature water. Always water cyclamen near their base, and never pour water over the crown of the plant. This can cause the corm, the bulbous part at the base of the stem, to rot. You can use tap water for this, as long as you've let the water come to room temperature first. You can use tap water for this, as long as you've let the water come to room temperature first. Expect blooms from mid-winter until early spring. As long as the temperature and light conditions are met, cyclamen will usually bloom from mid-winter until late spring. In some cases, very happy cyclamen may even bloom until early summer. The bloom colors vary, and you may see pink, red, white, striped or multi-colored blooms. Prune spent flowers and yellow leaves while they're in bloom. Pruning will prolong the blooming season, because this allows all the nutrients to go to the healthy blooms and leaves. Use mini floral snips to cut off the dead blooms. You can use the snips to remove yellow leaves, as well, or simply pinch those off. Stop watering them once the blooms fade in late spring. Once new blooms stop forming and the old blooms are fading away, stop watering the cyclamen. The plants go into dormancy in the summer. If the soil stays moist during dormancy, the tuber or corm will rot and the plant will die. Reference area label link to reference 9 > once the soil gets dry, you won't need to re-moisturize it all summer long. While the cyclamen is dormant, you can store it in its pot or dig up the corm and keep it in a box of dry peat moss. Dig up the corm and replant it in early fall. When cyclamen go into dormancy, their leaves turn yellow and they look dead. They aren't dead. Dig up the corm, replant it in the fall, and start watering it again when new growth appears. Your cyclamen will produce another season of blooms. Cyclamen can live for many years, and even though they look dead when dormant, they will spring back once the temperatures cool down. The corm is the tiny bulb at the bottom of the stalk. The plant's roots grow out of this bulb. The corm sits at ground level and is mostly visible, and the roots grow into the underground. Store the corm somewhere dry, like a box of dry peat moss kept in a cool, low humidity area of your home.